walk right like this. So I must say it has been almost 20 days, possibly about more than that, since I've streamed. Normally it'll be about a week. In this time, I've regathered myself. I was thinking that we have a creative, chaotic, epic. I like that. So, the moon enters Aries today, energizing our life. The moon doesn't make any major astrological aspects. It's a good time to wrap up old projects that have been on the back burner for some time. Before you move forward with other tasks, focus on getting closure on endeavors that have been on your mind for months. It's time to put this matter into the best before the lunar eclipse on Saturday. Let's look at the quote of the day. Let's look at the quote of the day. You better know yourself. The better your relationship with the rest of the world. I agree. Look, take a dip. The better that you know yourself, the better your relationship. Not with Steve. I'm trying to reach that earth. I think it's 3-5. I think it's 3-5. So I write this down. I like to write down little random stuffs and things. I keep the amazing stuff fragmented. I keep that in my head.
Sometimes can be frustrating whenever you're
This is
gentle,
one of the most newest episodes.
Safe, and
are you
open-minded.
I try and be open-minded.
Open-minded is a great way to look at life, because greatness is a rarity, and
Stiggity. I want to hear bass code one more time. I haven't unpublished that yet. I'm not going to. Oh, we did. All right. Much greatness known.
greatness is a rarity, and oftentimes people don't understand greatness, and people would rather view your greatness as,
or put me down and slap me in the face.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So whenever people are just like overly dramatic, sometimes I could be a little bit overly dramatic, and like it's kind of like a roller coaster, but it's steady, it's stable, it's safe in all of the correct ways that you would require in your mind a certain sense of things, stuff, such, and so on. And in the moments that I'm vague, figadillet. Like, my mom's the kind of person that, like, if you say something that she might interpret as mean, she'll be like, oh my gosh, like, stickity, like, you just, like, slap me in the face with those words. I would never raise my hand to my mother, though you guys have seen me, like, scream at my mother and just, like, vent. I want to say that I have the utmost respect for my mother, for the world. Stiggity. It's been since around like 2019 that I've been enjoying streaming, and I had found a quarter, and I looked at the there's their heads and tails of the quarter. I looked at the quarter, and on its tails it said something about a Pacific War, and it was a 2019 quarter. And I was speaking to someone maybe like a day before this memory, and they were telling me that there's a lot that I don't know, and there's a lot that's been going on in the world that I might not know, or I have not like found or like stumbled across the information. And stiggity, I would imagine that's so I could just, continue doing what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Because truthfully, it would require a whole team in managing, scheduling, technicianing and stuffs and things. Stickity, stickity. Figadilla. But I have been more recently, like, preemptively aware of how people treat me, It's one thing when you're just aware how people treat you, and then you stay aware of that instance within your collective growth, within your evolution and ability to piece together how people have viewed you, approached you, interacted with you, and so on. It's so, in my mind, far beyond looks. It's like, and this is the thing, I'm not talking about like relationships, but then again I am in just being active and aware, and active and aware, that sounds like so stereotypical. Like, I know that in the past it's been hard for me to convey emotions. I have a tendency to compartmentalize and things and stuff and such. Instead of rather me telling you directly about myself, I feel as though that I should share some stories with you that would provide some mental imagery of the things that I'm talking about, and having to do with perspective, interpretation, and so on. I'm honestly trying to slow down on utilizing my catchphrases because, my catchphrases have like picked up new meanings. I'll say stickity stickity, they'll look at me like, what'd you say? Some people think that in getting or becoming popular, becoming well known, commonly known, and such, that that it wouldn't complicate your truth. And beautiful thing is, my truth is whatever I say that is. In stating or sharing my truth, I'm not being biased. I'm not being unbiased. I'm being open-minded and active in the conversation. And stickity stickity. I like to sometimes stray away from the plot, as it were.
I had to kind of relax in streaming and posting. You know, I listen to my gut in the aspect of I've become and have been a whole situation. And over time, that understanding has become like right in line with how I feel in my head, like how I think in my head, and in like vocalizing my channeled thought process. It's almost as though I can almost not quite put my finger on it as far as things and stuff and such being how I view that person with understanding and already preconsidering that we are not perfect as individuals. I think that it is, you know, just as lame as some things in time where you build up a person, individual, or group of people for them to not be subservient, but for them to be perfectly in tandem with me and vice versa. Sometimes, well, actually, most of the times, I feel as though I mirror people. So I will meet people how they are meeting me. Stickity, stickity. There were no animals harmed in this video or audio recording. You know, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's a response.
Also, forgive me for the monotone. Maybe honestly, just check out my Spotify. Check out my podcast on Spotify and everywhere where podcasts are found. My podcast name is Jenny Beats. Oh, it's ennyarodasi, Jenny Beats. Stiggity, stiggity.
All right.
it's a game that we want to play starting off today. Honestly, I think we'll vibe. We'll vibe for a little while. Take it easy, take it easy. I have not read our daily devotional. So I have this person in my life, and we share I would say, a deep mutual, almost unexplainable affection, love, understanding. Truth, like moral, you know, on certain levels, and with the ability to either agree or agree to disagree and still maintain like a healthy coexistence. You know what I'm saying? Just take it easy, take it easy. Can you guys hear my voice all right? Alright. Hear my voice? I mean, I guess you could say it's like telepathically. So in being capable of telepathy, apparently what that would be essentially is like you transferring or transmitting your thoughts to other people and like knowing their thoughts. So sometimes in listening back to recordings of mine, I'll realize that I would, in my certain dialect or in my certain, well, I guess it should just be dialect.
Well, our last podcast was talking about a hero's journey to greatness. And I think that was a perfect example of evolution. You know, a hero's journey to greatness it comes with a lot of twists and turns, as some of us shall someday learn, or shall one day learn. Hopefully soon, because life with no repose is a pretty miserable seeming existence. And don't let me speak for you.
Yeah, I was about to
but
say that sounds like.
how I
Are you trying to speak for me there? Are you trying to speak for me?
Without repose,
Intention.
life is about movement and repose. Not to pose, not to be a freaking poser.
I think life is about certain
to be yourself
marketing intentions that are
is to
upheld
be
and
open
upkept.
and acceptant of adversity. And that's a tough thing. You have to be open for adversity. Huh. You must say.
You gotta fight for your right to party, you know?
To be honest with you, I think a good consolation to that notion is the truth that I hold of loving and deeply and sincerely appreciating criticism. To be open for criticism is like being open to learn. Though I love to debate, you know, I don't think that you are weak if you are wrong.
You are weak if you are wrong and you cannot own up to it. Today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is about accountability. A hero's journey to greatness entails one of bravery, because it definitely takes a sense of bravery to put yourself in a situation, a vulnerable situation in which you will be judged, to be judged and open for criticism. If you tried your hardest at something, at a race or at a game, at a contest, and you didn't do as great as
I would say to that, it
for
depends how
a
you
win.
measure greatness. We all measure greatness
Any
separate to that of the
feeling
eye and perspective of
self-pity is
a
not
third
the way.
party. Huh?
Is
Self-pity.
not the way. That's
Acknowledging
miserable.
your truth is different than self-pity. You might have a sad truth that
People
you are
are
unwilling
more
to let people hone in on
adjacent
because you don't
to
want to
have
hurt people. You want
self-pity on
to,
themselves rather than
maintain.
be open for criticism. Be open to being wrong. To being open to lesson. And not saying that everybody else is right and you're wrong.
Maybe even if that was to all.
Human,
you know what I'm
an
saying?
adult. And I love people. I love people.
Are you over there
People
guessing? All right, so sometimes I want to tell you guys. So
but bless their heart.
Things and stuff and such.
Love them to death.
Same.
What good does that do me? It's a matter of perspective.
True.
If I'm willing to be open and honest about how I view a person, or better yet, a person's perspective in a certain scenario in general, that person, to really hear me, would have to be open for some criticism, because we all subconsciously judge. It's basic
true.
human characteristic.
It is true.
What is
And
not
in that
normal
stiggity.
is the way that society's forking off rather than rounding things off with a nice spoon. Forking off in their own mind. They're going many different ways at once, seemingly.
All I would say is that if you find that there's a singularity in your life, do not ever overlook
their own experience,
singularities. I have before in the past.
Especially a shared experience. And to not be accountable is for me to not be able to tap into the rawest, most vulnerable, most real part of myself, real and sincere, because I'm taking my own advice. I am accountable.
I'm willing to say that I fucked up. If I fucked up, and if I didn't realize I fucked up, and somebody else has to reiterate to me that that is their perspective of truth beyond a shadow of a doubt, who am I to say that your truth is lies? Well, of course,
You can talk
as
people
a
through their truth, or
stiggity
you know,
woman,
in
I definitely think that actions are spoken louder than words. Words sometimes complicate actions and or interpolations of such and things. But if you didn't have accountability, you would barely be able to make out what is good in this world and what is bad, what is stiggity in this world, what is unstiggity, what is inspiring in this world, and what is fake, what is fake, what is real. If you're dependent on
what
certain outcomes
was
or
the
things to be
God.
in line with expectations without proper tending to the
voicing on those
that are necessary.
Right.
Actions that are necessary for whatever it is that you yearn.
I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna
STIGGIDY.
fight you here in like freaking
Stiggity.
3 seconds.
Shared thought, inspiring, general goods.
You already know that though. What are you doing?
Investing dreams yearned.
Oh my god.
To invest in.
Are you trying to get us in trouble? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We make the rules.
To invest in your empowerment. To invest in your
evolution. I just got a donation.
Thank
happiness.
You. Beyond a shadow of any doubt. Doubt
the only bookings that
the
I'm currently
killer
open
of
for
dreams.
is
doubt and deciding to live by the doubts of others.
Oh,
because
somebody's finally listening.
To project what they
look at this jump coil. We're over here looking like freaking Nicholas Tesla.
Not taking into consideration
drastic part.
That they didn't ask you, what it is that makes you happy, what it is that tickles your soul, what it is
my twin
inspires passion, sorority, as much so as love is a rarity. We like to politicize it and fall into a very slippery slope of doubt. Why doubt? Because it takes the opposite of that to begin to really see lucidly. The opposite of doubt, to me, is accountability. It's the first step to really grabbing your life by the balls, and not in a hurtful way, but in a progressive way. Whenever you become all right with being wrong, and past that, loving yourself enough to be accountable to not just yourself, but the world. You'll notice that the world does not have that same basic tendency to be accountable for your actions, for how you feel, for what you think, mostly for how things can evolve to be better, and not along the lines of whatever has been projected in your mind or in your awareness to view as a doubt. We don't want to second guess ourselves, because that is that's self telling self, all right, we're gonna be fucking miserable because they said this and they said that, and they said that what I desire is, it's not cool, it's not within the yield of desire, doesn't meet up with somebody else's desire or what they desire for you. You have to take.
You have to be honest about. You have to be honest about
I took accountability earlier in stating what is now lucidly understood as the way to succeeding, the way to attaining your dreams. Accountability can mean
you can decide your truth, but you have to
that you are
make action, or you have to make effort, right?
hell-bent to see your evolution, because a lot of the times people are hell-bent on, their own, like I said, their own version of what that looks like in their life for them and how they perceive it for yourself. Now, I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I think it's really important because
Figure
my elders, some of my elders, I have found myself at complete odds end, losing trust, losing faith in a general relationship being that of family, because a lack of accountability. If I'm fucking up, I need to own up to the fact that we're not fucking perfect. And this is not just predominantly a female thing. It takes courage and honesty. People don't like to be honest. People would rather bullshit their way through life, in every turn, every twist, every little speed bump on the way there, every little pothole on the way there. People would rather just skate by,
Figure.
And that's okay. I'm not
Stickity.
sitting here preaching to you to see things the way that I do. I'm simply speaking my thoughts and my truths and my societal understanding of well-being because to have a body that is not acidic yet alkaline,
Figure
you need
it.
to
It requires
detox,
proper.
detoxify, and be real with yourself. It sounds good to try to find our own truth through others' perspective, but we will never be happy. We will always be feeling a constant sense of lack and a constant sense of dread, because we know somewhere in the back of our minds that it's the small things that create the big things. For example, if your car throws up a check engine light and you go to AutoZone and they hook the computer up and the code reads that when your O2 sensors are out, well, it's a small code, but it's not tended to, taken into consideration, and dealt with respectfully.
Held in consideration.
There is
Stiggity.
chance
And
that
taking
your
taking my own thoughts
into
into
your
consideration.
will begin to misfire.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I hold my.
In that instance, you could
True.
take accountability and be like, well, damn, I should have taken care of that O2 sensor. Because now there are bigger problems with the engine.
You have to.
That's a little bit of truth.
Stiggity.
A little bit of truth. And in unison with what I'm saying and reflection, I often get frustrated with people that have no accountability. And it's really fucking sad that it's mostly people that should be having, should have their fucking shit together. Parents, CEOs even.
You're not wrong.
I mean, it is alleviating. It is healing. It is so good for yourself and the world to be accountable for your shit. To be accountable when you're maybe wrong about something. To be accountable that maybe you didn't do the right thing. Maybe you could have done things differently. Maybe you realize that I could have done things differently. But for you to share your perspective and me not give any accountability to your truth. Jenny, you could straighten your hair and it won't be so fluffy.
That's
well
not. It's not far from true.
No. My hair is fine. I can literally wear a hat and it will be less curly and fluffy. That is me disregarding your perspective, your truth, your honesty, your possible vision of evolution or the way to reach evolution through small things. Sometimes it's not small things. Sometimes we have to make drastic leaps in a direction where others put in our minds doubt that we're wrong or we'll feel stupid
Without
or
risk,
whatnot.
there is not reward.
You need to be open to not just criticism. You need to be open to criticize yourself and be accountable. Be vulnerable. Be honest. Evolve. It takes change, but you're not going to recognize change and how amazing it is for an individual, let alone a collective of individuals, because it always, a lot of the times, just starts with, one person, one outlook, one changed soul to inspire
One changed soul to
evolution
inspire evolution.
and the gusto of working towards what that is for yourself. But you're never going to find it until you become accountable and until you become open
Let me give an example.
to something I know very closely as adversity. Oh, well, I'm Caucasian. I should not face any adversity because that's for freaking non-Caucasian people. And I would say you need to rooster your cock there, freaking Caucasian. Caca.
Caca.
Because
Need to roost that cock.
it doesn't matter
Cock dizzle. I do
who
want to
you
see
are, where you
cock
come
dizzle.
from, what you look like, how much money you have, how much money you don't, what you're lacking, what you are advancing in.
That's also a perspective.
It's the small things. It's the small things that have the capability, if not overlooked, and if taken into a certain accountability. See, my sister graduated college as a valedictorian, 2 different masters in accounting. And whenever we, we're sisters, we butt heads sometimes. And typically when we do is in instances where she gives me a little nudge, to a little bit, she gives me a little taste of adversity through her perspective of what I can do to change, to be a better person. And then whenever I am like, okay, well, of course, I don't have to automatically be like, well, you're not perfect either, like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me shit. You can't tell you da-da-da-da-da-da. You need to be open towards the things that somewhat frighten you. And I am highly aware that in this day's society, there are very, very low percentages of people that even are great people, that are amazing people. Because
It's true. It's true.
with a large majority of our society, both older and younger generation, not willing to face adversity, not willing to be accountable, not willing to even look at themselves in a light in which they
That's almost like saying you're wanting to go on a date with a girl, but
honestly
you're not willing to call or
see
contact
the
her.
flaw or see the problem. Be accountable, to love yourself. Just because you see how you can be better doesn't mean that you're not great or that you don't have the opportunity to be great. You cannot tell me that you are a great person or that you understand the hero's journey to greatness if you are pacified towards what it takes to be great and truly stand firmly in that. That doesn't, and that might, it doesn't mean that you're better than others, but possibly
But
it
if it got to the point where pretty much all you'd have to do is like
possibly
it's like relinquish, relinquish.
To be unaccountable, to be, lackadaisical about what a great person would recognize as an opportunity to be even greater and to succeed their current standing. And that doesn't necessarily need to be monetarily, doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with money or status. Not at all. I know there are going to be millions of people that hear this podcast, and millions of people that haven't been awakened yet to their own bullshit. They're keeping their eyes, what's this fucking new they call eyes wide shut woke. No, it's exactly what a majority of society does not want you to be great. They want you to think it's cool to be a piece of fucking shit and not readily open to the truth, your truth, my truth. It is so very tantalizing. It is so hard to have faith in a world that has zero accountability, zero abilities to be of a sound mind and of a brave mind to recognize that where we are accountable, we are respectable, we are commendable, we are great. Oh no, but it's cool to be an over-opinionated fucking imbecile. Like your opinions fucking matter whenever you can't even look your goddamn self in the fucking mirror and be real with yourself, let alone open to the truth that, you know, is also formulated in some of the criticisms and opinions around you. Oh no, you're never wrong. You're never wrong. Right? Like, it is humanly impossible for somebody that is fucking stupid as hell, or seemingly cool? Is it cool to be a little fucking idiot and not give yourself any sort of good fucking omen, yo? Like, good stuffs, great stuffs. No. You think it's cool to view the world like you're better? To view the world like nobody can tell you shit? I'm sorry. That's not based in reality. And the things that you guys are pulling from, you guys are pulling fucking straws from the freaking cap of dumbass. Alright. You want some real solutions? How about we stop ruminating on fucking opinions, because opinions are only opinions. If you are so tied up in what everybody fucking thinks and you are not solid enough in your standing in reality to not allow the denial of evolution. The denial of evolution is only contributing to the degeneration of yourself, your happiness, and the fucking experience within the world around us. Yeah, it's fun.
That is
and
very
it's amazing
intelligent stuff.
to be a part of something, but you're never going to be a part of anything if you cannot take the steps, the necessary steps to grab the world by the balls and really have some sense of direction. You're not going to have any fucking sense of direction.
That's in a human
saying that you're
sense
right all
of the way.
You're not going to have any sense of direction.
A human sense of the way. Like how?
Correct yourself. Because it's
I don't
not
know,
my
have you
fucking
ever
job
responded
to take
to
care
one
of
of my
your fucking
chats?
kids. It's not my fucking job to tell you how I think you how you fucked up and how you're probably a fucking shit person. Leave that to society to hold your truths that you will not take accountability for and fucking do something about it. Not just realize that, oh, well, I know I'm supposed to be accountable for this, but I'm just gonna act like this doesn't fucking exist. And that, my friends, my tribe, is
That's what I was speaking on earlier.
just
I wouldn't
the
want
beginning
the
of
person
your
that
evolution
I'm talking about
and
within
your
this scenario.
hero's journey to greatness.
Stay.
Love yourself. They taught us in school that self-esteem was everything. They were very wrong because they had preached that to us. And you know what people did? They began having zero accountability, zero actual self-esteem, 100% ego, which is actually detrimental, highly detrimental to progress in any sense of greatness, in any sense of attaining what is for you. This is something that I had to write down, and I will quote now. My understanding was tailored for me, but general understandings are tailored for everyone to get on some sort of stair step in evolution. Because I guarantee you that the revolution does not begin in the industry. It's not going to be an industrial revolution. This stair step evolution is going to take, we are not going to just, all of us as a society, and be to where we need to be. We're going to have the strength to approach the things that we were scared of, because we would not even allow ourselves to take accountability for the things that we are scared of. We have the ability to be big freaking pussies and not and try to push our fears away, rather than
Embracing
taking accountability for the fact that we might be scared, the fact that we might be wrong, the fact that we might be approaching and or encroaching on our life wrongfully. We might be taking advice from people who are not even accountable of their own stuff, and therefore are only going to lead us into a deeper sense of depression, farther away from actual self-esteem.
You cannot place your depression on the responsibility
self-esteem
of people outside of yourself, because depression is a choice just as much as
you are not going to have any sort of good self-esteem, confidence, if you cannot figure out in your mind how to have and how to evolve your truth and your self-worth. I tell you, I have great self-worth, Sure. To have self-worth is to maintain good self-esteem. Now, they taught us that we needed self-esteem. They didn't tell us that us being focused on our self-esteem or how we are appearing to come off to the world, what I see is people in droves with no sense of self-worth, with no sense of direction, and that's due to their own small mishandling of their O2 sensor. You need to tend to your sense of self-worth. How, you ask? Be open to being wrong. Have a little faith. Because faith means you don't have to be right. There is no right or wrong in some things. You have to be accountable and be open to be wrong, and really be okay with that. Because if you were never wrong, then you never learned anything in life. And that's why I say society is stupid, because they're not learning anything in life. they're not seeing the truth in their own life because they're so detached from any sense of accountability. So much so that everybody is just drowning each other in the toxicity and the misery and the lack of respect for themselves, the lack of respect for the ones that they claim to love, that they claim to care about being no different than your worst enemy, and only pledging to let go of just self-love. This starts with being brutal. You can't have love for yourself and therefore, feeding your self-worth, therefore feeding your self-esteem, therefore feeding your ability to maintain any sense of clarity and or happiness in anything and everything that you do. Stop listening so much and start listening to yourself and practice being wrong. Because I promise you, you'll be proud of yourself. And I promise you that you will find newfound strength to step into the shoes of your hero boots for your hero journey. It's not always supposed to look the same. I'm not supposed to base my sense of success on money or this or that or things. I tell you, because things don't mean anything. Things don't mean shit. And you know what does mean shit? You
said
as
it.
a soul.
Ennyarodasi.
You as a soul, whoever you are out there, I fucking feel for you. And you don't have to like me. You don't have to be able to fathom and understand how deep the pit of depression and how high the percentages of suicide. And every year it grows, and every year it targets a generation that has potential but takes their own potential away. They take their own life away. They take other people's lives away.
Take people's lives away.
Before checking on their O2 sensor, changing out that O2 sensor, being accountable, look for the imperfections in your truth. Realize where you could be wrong. Question everything and question nothing. Be open to be wrong. Be open to not be up to standard, because there is no such thing. The standard is we're living in complete toxic degeneration where even the most rich and seemingly well off are the same people that are fucking dying inside and looking for ways to kill off the rest of society, because why not? You know, they already put fucking fluoride in our water. I say passionately, be stiggity, be
They already
yourself,
put
and be
fluoride in our
fucking
water.
accountable. Alright? Because everybody has an asshole. Doesn't mean that you need to shit yourself whenever you need to poo. Rather, realize you need to poo. Realize nobody's perfect. And the more you try to be perfect, the less you have the ability to attain what perfection has truly in store, which is acceptance, self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, self-evolution, self-understanding. What you understand sometimes is tailored for you to understand. We are only meant to understand what we can understand. Therefore, stop taking on the truths of the world and start taking on your own truth. And that takes a little bit of practice, but practice makes perfect. And I believe that you can do it. You can do it. Just do
You
it.
can do
Check it
it.
off the fucking bucket list. Like Nike. Just do it. Stickity,
Stickity,
stickity.
stickity.
It's your girl, Jenny Beats. And it has been another successful hour-long podcast. Passionate, shared understanding with the tribe being
Stickity, stickity.
millions of us. And out of those millions, maybe an even smaller percent that is actually going to get through. But do not be hasty and do not be so judgmental of what you are possibly not wanting to accept. Maybe in the back of your head, I'm right. Maybe in the back of my head, I could be wrong. And that's quite alright. Be open to not be liked. Be open and prepare yourself to enjoy what it is to not be liked. Because I tell you, we live in an insincere world. We live in a world of no accountability.
And we also
So
live
what
in a
you
world
think,
that you become guilty by
no, they expect
association.
me, they like me. Do they though?
Sometimes.
Whenever they can't even be honest with themselves. But you're gonna try to live up to this person's truth.
If you know
You're
their
gonna try to
truth,
live
then
up to
why
this
should they
person's
have to
standard.
be honest?
Okay. Well, have a great time in life with your zero.
Oh my god, and your Rusty. Doesn't
Because
she
they
know
can do it
that
all
one
they want.
person and that
And
a one person?
you're thinking that your truth is that this is not John Jacob, Jingleheimer Smith. His name is my name too. Whenever they are, the people always shout, John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. Da 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 da. Stiggity stiggity vibe tribe. Be open to be yourself. Be open to piss people off. Be open to not be and or think like. What the fuck, you're read in a chat, you're read in a fucking book, you saw in a movie, or your fucking friend told you at a sleepover, because people are great actors. They're great actresses. Show me the truth. Show me the rawness. Oh, there is none? That's okay. I'm fully aware that you have not yet tapped into your full potential of understanding because you have not even, you have not even realized how shitty you're being, have been, and or are leading others to be just as miserable as you. You unaccountable fuckers. Is what the hero would say. The true hero, mind you, because in a healthy and unhealthy relationship, there are 4 characteristics you can be. You can be the victim. You could be the villain. Often they like to, the victim likes to be the villain. There's the hero, and there's the true hero. The hero is always waiting for the golden star, is waiting for the check of approval. Like, hey, I did something fucking nice. Like, somebody come and freaking give me, where's the crowd at? Where's the government? Where's the key to the city? I just saved a life.
Where's the key to the city?
That's what the hero would say. And or in their mind be thinking. They're like, alright, I'll save this damn bitch in distress. But, it's gonna look great in the news. The true hero does the right thing without any expectation of reward. The hero does what's good because they're waiting on and expecting a reward. Be great. Be your own hero. And be open to share your truth.
Stickity.
And your truth being, you are flawed as hell. And through that,
Aren't we all?
find your self-worth. Stickity.
Stickity.
What's up, guys, and welcome in to another episode of Jenny Beats. Today we have an interesting episode because in real life we have some people.
Stickity. We always have some people in our lives. We've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, so I had not said too much during that time. Kind of listening and responding, and responding. There's this little pamphlet, like, living free, experiencing the presence and power of the Spirit. Scripture can seem irrelevant and lifeless until it is read with an awareness of the question that bring the storyline to life. Names, dates, locations, all pub trivia until we ask questions that help us see ourselves in the places and situations the Bible describes. Romans 8 proposes an answer to a question that has plagued humanity and especially followers of Jesus for 2,000 years. What we often forget is that the reassuring words of Romans 8 are a response to Paul's anguished description of his own spiritual struggle. I don't really understand myself, for I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. I know that nothing good lives in me. What is in my sinful nature? I want to do what is right. I want to do what is good. Those verses are a little too reflective for many of us. The mirror scripture stands before us, often presents an unsettling clear image. We see too much of ourselves, and we probably see Paul as entirely different from us. He was assured of final victory. Are we? Assuring those who believe in Christ that God has forgiven and accepted them. So now there's no condemnation for those who belong to Christ Jesus. And because you belong to him, the power of the life-giving Spirit has freed you from the power of sin that has led to death. The law of Moses was unable to save us because the weakness of our sinful nature. So God did what he could do. Stiggity, stiggity. Let's read a devotional. Let us read a devotional. How do you use the gift of freedom? God gives all believers true liberty through his Son, Jesus Christ. Do you slander that blessing? Focused on their own needs and desires, that they fail to impact even their closest neighbor. Think about the people you see every week. Do you know how many of your neighbors are sick? Are there people in your church who struggle to make it from day to day? Do you know if any of your own coworkers are going through hardships? Most likely there are individuals all around you who could use assistance, but being self-focused limits our ability to notice those people, let alone reach out to them. Jesus taught his disciples, "You are the salt of the earth." But if the salt has become tasteless, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. In order for salt to remain useful, it must maintain its purity and potency. Likewise, we must endeavor to lead holy, humble, loving lives. Focus that we are to walk in, our job is to carry them out. To walk in. Now, to walk in is almost like a gay coming out of the closet and saying, "I'm gay." You know, that would be walking into a situation of trust. Did I just throw the plate out the door? I didn't mean to. Boiga. In Genesis 1:3, let there be light. To Jesus' last words in Revelation 2:22, he says, yes, I am coming quickly. Look at me multitasking where we were reading and playing a game. The voice that brought all things into existence, sovereignty, controls time, circumstances, and nature. The Lord sat as king, bringing judgment over the whole earth with the flood in Noah's day. He continued to reign over the earth's triumphant upheavals today. Tumulus upheavals today. Although we have attempted to craft ourselves a gentler version of God, we know he truly is, and we accept all that Scripture says about him. David likens God's voice to a violent storm sweeping in from the sea with fury as it covers the land. Yet he also mentions that the Lord strengthens his people and blesses them with peace. All God attributes blend together perfectly. He's powerful, yet loving, just, and merciful, and both righteous and forgiving. This is why we can respond with submission, reverence, and trust in our majestic King. Whether in Noah's day or in our own, the message is the same. The Lord sits as King forever. Are God's power and control a comfort to you? Know and trust him. As in any relationship, trust and intimacy grow with familiarity and experience. As you learn to grow, as you learn to know God through his word and experience his faithfulness, your trust will grow, and you'll long for the day when his splendor, majesty, and power are known throughout the earth. Stiggity, stiggity. So, in being less, I wouldn't say secretive, I guess I would say like private about, oh, I shall reach the end. Darkness, darkness. Stop the dark. You shall not touch the dark. Stiggity, stiggity. Oh, you didn't see the game that I was playing. That's kind of funny. Scary maze. Let me add some music. So, stiggity, stiggity. So, I don't know if I should write this story down or if I should just tell you guys. I know that I've been kind of quiet, a little bit quiet, but we were listening to my podcast, so I was being respectful and also reiterating in moments where I may have failed to mention or to properly mention. Diggity, diggity. I've been going through the content and just the videos. Like I enjoy reviewing. Stiggity, stiggity. So, whenever I was about I was about 10 years old when I had caught a glimpse of what we would know as kind of like a hey. More recently, I have personally stumbled upon some truth that maybe y'all have been aware of, unbeknownst to me. And it's kind of like the instance of like being in line at a movie theater or something like that, and you notice that somebody next to you in line has like a booger in their nose, you're like, hey, you got a booger in your nose. Stickity, stickity. Literally, I don't know if we have people, many people like that in society. So, in being on this side of the screen, you never know really who you can trust. And whenever your name is known, it becomes kind of like a weird thing just because things and stuff and such.
I just wanna say how I feel about you.
So it came around a time that
I just wanna say how I feel about you.
I was just doing my own thing, saying, in my own created reality.
I just wanna say how I feel about you.
And perspective becomes something completely different whenever, like if you're like in a war, in the middle of war. We've been in war since like 2019, something like that. Unbeknownst to me, sometimes I think that they give me like a certain version of the news. Ennyarodasi, things and stuff and such. I have this book here that I bought. It's The Words of Place.
I just wanna say how I feel about you. I just wanna say how I feel about you.
I am the way, the truth, and the light. No man cometh into the Father, but cometh. Oh, sorry. No man cometh into the Father, but by me. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it shall be done for you. But this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. So, here recently, I was just mentioning how it's hard to distinguish between real people, bots, ChatGPT, actors, and, and stuff. A lot easier whenever you have a connection with a person where it's like, oh, you could contact them over the phone, you could send each other texts or whatnot, memes, calls, whatnot. Any hoodles. You know what? I will continue this story in the next episode. Be sure to follow that channel, podcast. Take it easy. Share. And don't be hollow.